already done it. Send him what, the script? He's doing it already.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Results Night Live, featuring special guests, your full-time officer team, Arthur Roberts and Georgia Bell, with musical guest Musicality, also starring your ARO Liam Hand. Now live from Mooch and NSTV, please welcome your host and DRO this evening, Ashley Storer Smith.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Results Night Live. A slightly belated Results Night Live. What a week we have had, hey? So much has gone on. We love the smell of democracy for the whole week, and our candidates have been absolutely amazing. Handing out leaflets, scanning their NSC cards, and making sure that so many students vote this evening. So can we please have a massive hand for our candidates this evening? Now, for my official Deputy Returning Officer spill. The election has been confirmed by the Returning Officer, and all results have been counted and verified. All complaints have been resolved, and results will be announced this evening. So, let's have a quick look at what's going on. So please welcome my first guest this evening to go through the data. She's dressed up as a lion at varsity, she's dressed up as a goose for elections, and she dressed up as a condom just for fun. It's your Union Development Officer, Jess Nuttall! Hello, Jess. How is everything going?
Good. I'm very excited to see how tonight goes.
Me too, me too. So, are you going to announce the big number this evening?
I absolutely can, yeah. So, we've had so many votes in this year's elections. It's been incredible to see the numbers go up, and I think we should do a little bit of a drum roll, don't you?
Yes, big drum roll for the amount, the vote turnout, please.
6,197 votes.
That is incredible. That is over double the amount of results from last year, which is such an incredible feat. That is the equivalent of 17.34%. We have not had over 10% since COVID. So it's an amazing feat.
So that's our highest voter turnout since 2019, which is absolutely amazing. And I think there's so much credit there to our candidates. This year, we had 52 candidates. That is our highest number of candidates joined with 2015, and the most full-time officer candidates we've ever had.
Yes, the most we've ever had. Give a big cheer. So, let's dive a little bit deeper into this data. 42.8% of course reps voted this year, the highest percentage of course reps that have ever voted in an SU election. Now, tell us, Jess, what is the percentage turnout for the faculties?
So this has been a really interesting thing to watch as well. I was an art student, and then I was a social sciences student, and there has been a battle between those two faculties to see who could get the highest voter turnout. The winner was arts, with 20% voter turnout. Social sciences with 19%, science with 17, engineering with 13, and medicine with 11. Those are all huge numbers.
They are incredible. That is the equivalent of 1 in 5 art students voted, which is absolutely incredible. Now, for the highest department, which department got the highest voter turnout? Have a thing in your heads? Well, I think it is the business school. The business school got 842 voters.
That is 25% of the business school, which is absolutely incredible. And as an ex-business school student myself, I'm very happy with that result.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of 1 in 4 business school students have voted this week. And now for campus. I know, Jess, you started off at UP. and then went to Jubilee. And again, for a second year running, Jubilee campus has the highest percentage of voters, with 20% of voters.
That is absolutely huge. Uni Park was not far behind with 17%. Derby campus and Queen's Medical School both got 12% voter turnout. 12% voter turnout. And for Sutton Bonington, we got 9% voter turnout. All really huge, huge statistics.
And even though we have had medical students at Lincoln for about 5 years now, this is the first year that even Lincoln students have voted. So all of our University of Nottingham Lincoln students, thank you for voting. So let's dive a little bit into a bit of SU numbers now. Yeah, I just went there. Jess, let us know, what was the percentage turnout for student-run services?
Our student-run services had a 44% voter turnout. That is huge. Tell us about sports and societies.
Well, I wanted to see, what do you guess? Do you think sports had a higher percentage turnout or societies this evening? Here's some science, here's some sports. By an absolute whisker, societies had the higher voter turnout over sports, with 21.69 societies, 21.69% of students with society memberships, and 21.53% of sports students. So incredibly close.
That was 1,586 votes from sports and 5,453 votes from society members. All amazing, amazing numbers, which honestly I'm thrilled about.
Absolutely thrilling. So, can you give it a big hand as they depart the stage for your Union Development Officer for 2023-2024, Jess Nuttall? Now, before we move on to the part-time officer announcements, we're now going to go through the referenda announcements for this evening. So, as you may have known, we have had 2 referenda based on Union Council. We are going to start with the motion, Cops Off Campus. Referenders needed 2.5% of students to vote, which is the equivalent of 894 students. For Cops Off Campus, they got, as a total, votes completely, was 1,416 votes, which makes the referenda quorum. For yes, 690 votes. For no, 642. 84 spoils, so yes wins. Cops Off Campus, the referenda, Cops Off Campus, the motion will be implemented. Now, for our second referenda this evening. To implement the motion, end University of Nottingham complicity in Israeli war crimes. As again, it needed 894 voters to be quorum. It got 2,392 voters. Voting yes, 1,940. No, 340. And 112 spoil ballots. So, yes won, and the motion, end University of Nottingham complicity in Israeli war crimes, has passed. That is all of our referenda this evening. Now, let's move on to our first part-time officer results. On our screen will be our trans students officer election candidates. This is why I wait for the screen to pan through. So, the trans student officer role was implemented 2 years ago, and the election had 1 candidate. And now I'm going to pass to Liam to announce the winner of trans student officer. Thank you very much, Liam. Give a big cheer for Liam.
Okay, hello everybody. So, a your next Strong Students Officer got 98 votes, and it went to the first round, and the winner is Harry Forsyth. So I'm going to hand over to Harry now.
I'm not shocked being uncontested, but I'm really excited. Having passed the motion that created the role 1 year already, I'm so excited to do more for the second year. I'm really excited, and thank you to everybody who voted. Thank you.
And back to Ashley for the stats. There you go. Congratulations. You're stuck working with us for another year. You're stuck working for us for another year.
We're waiting for a second for the breakdowns to come through on the screen. Sorry for the technical difficulties this evening. We don't have the breakdowns. No worries, thank you very much. So, our next election we are announcing this evening is the Environment and Social Justice Part-Time Officer. Oh, we got the candidate breakdown. No, ignore it. Okay, I will ignore this. So, we're going to our next role, yes? Yes, thank you very much. So our next role is the Environment and Social Justice Officer. This role has been empty for the past 12 months, or for the past academic year, and there was one candidate for the role. We are just waiting to make sure that our next part-time officer is announced. The Environment and Social Justice Officer campaigns on issues that affect things like global warming, and social justice issues, not just on campus, but also within the local community and across the UK, and sometimes even internationally. The Environment and Social Justice Office is a very important role for us as a union to ensure that we commit to our sustainability targets and ensure that the university commits to their sustainability targets too.
Well, I'll announce.
And we're just waiting. There we are. Now let's pass to Liam to find out who your next Environment and Social Justice Officer is. Go ahead, Liam.
Okay, so we had 1,350 votes in this election. It went to the first round, and your winner is Holly Oldfield. Come on down.
I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who supported me. I hope you're ESJ officer. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll head down back to Ashley for the stats once again. I'm going to get you your stats now as well.
I don't know if we are able to see those stats on screen. That's why I look at my team over there, see if they go, are we getting those stats or not? I cannot see. Anyway. Here we are. Yes, these are your stats for ESG officer. Everyone give a clap for the stats. Woo! Anyway, so in the first round, Holly Oldfield got 1,147 votes. Reopened nominations, Ron, got 75 votes. No votes were exhausted. The threshold was 611, and Holly won by 536 votes. Incredible. Give a massive clap for Holly. Now, we will be seeing your part-time officer team later when we announce the rest. But while we get ready for the next set of part-time officers, so if you are a part-time officer candidate and you are in the next set of women, international and disabled, please go upstairs. But now, let's go through one of the most important things of the night. What societies and sports teams have won that cash? So, I am proud to announce, or proud to introduce, your activities officer for 2023-2024 and your sports officer for 2023-2024. Please give a hand for Dan Hack and Sean Nolan! Give a hand on the screen. Enjoy.
Just speak. I'll do. Right. So, the fun bit we get to do is all about the money, which we know that most clubs and societies are keen to get their hands on because typically we get a lot of complaints about grant funding at the start of the year. So, we're going to run through 4 different categories. We've got sports clubs, medium-sized societies, small societies, and large societies. We're going to give the breakdown of percentage voter turnout in each of them, and they will win. Third place takes £50, second place £100, and first place £200. So we'll start with my favourite, the sports clubs. So, with a turnout of 45.9%, in third place is ladies cricket. In second place, with a voter turnout of 62.99%, is the boat club. And in first place, taking £200 with a voter turnout of a whopping 79.55%, is the trampolining club.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I was lovely to hear about sports clubs. It's time to move over to my realm of societies. So we're going to be starting on small societies. So in third place, with a turnout of 65.63%, winning £50, is SAS. And coming in at second place with a lovely turnout of 68.42%, winning £100, is Cubork. And finally, with a very impressive 88.24%, winning the lovely £200, is Students for Palestine.
Right, let's take it up a notch. On to the medium-sized societies. We've actually got 4 runners for the top 3. Now, how does that make any sense, you ask? Well, we'll get there. In third place, with a voter turnout of 52%, was the Conservative Society. In joint second place, with a bang-on equal 57.14% and each taking home £100, is Musicality. I think they might be here tonight. And the Dart Society. And the medium-sized society with the most votes, taking home £200 with 60% voter turnout, is the United Nations Society.
Woo! Wonderful. And finally, we're going on to the large societies. So with this one, it is only the society that has the highest percentage of votes that has won a cash prize, that cash prize being £200. But we're still going to do the top 3, of course. So beginning with third place, with a 46.72% voter turnout for their society, it's LGBT SOC. Next up, in second place, with 60.39%, it's Nottingham Youth Theatre. And finally, the society, the large society, I should say, with a turnout of 67.37%. Do you have a drum roll for this? Let's go for a drum roll for this. Give us a drum roll. Winning £200. It's Public Speaking Society! Congratulations to every society and sports club. Thank you all for voting. You make us both very proud.
And back to Ashley.
Please give a massive hand to Dan. I have my running order here so I don't get lost. Anyway, we're now going to go on to the next set of part-time officers. We're going to announce your final 3 part-time officers before we hear the musical stylings of Musicality. Come on, before you hear the musical stylings of Musicality. Thank you. Energy. You need more Hongston goose juice in you, as we say. Anyway, so the next officer role we are now going to is the women's officer. Come on, let's do a bigger woo than that. It is next your women's officer. Amazing, thank you so much. So, your women's officer is one of our 5 liberation-based part-time officers that focuses on issues affecting women and people who self-define as women partially or fully. These include things like spiking, sexual harassment on campus, as well as things like period poverty, as you see with our great work around my brain just went there, around the community cabinet stuff around campus, and project periods across the whole of campus. As we are just waiting for the result to be announced to the candidate upstairs, we're just waiting for here?
With 228 votes, this went to the first round. Our winner is Charlotte Spencer. Unfortunately, Charlotte's not with us tonight, but we're very excited to work with her, and we're going to go back down to Ashley for the stats.
So, congratulations, Charlotte Spencer, with that lovely goose photo. Let's have a look at those breakdowns. So, as Liam said, he went to the first round. 217 votes went to Charlotte Spencer. Ron got 7 votes. No votes were exhausted. Charlotte needed 112 votes to win, and they beat it by 105. That's what the surplus means. So Charlotte Spencer is your next women's officer. Give a big cheer for Charlotte! Now, there are 2 part-time officer candidates remaining. And I want a big woo for this one, not a cheer, but a woo. Your next role is the most contested PTO role that we've had this year. So, is everyone ready for the International Students Officer? Thank you very much. So, our International Students Officer focuses on issues affecting international students, specifically. This includes things around visas, things around international issues on campus, community cohesion, as well as barriers to entry and barriers to engagement for international students across all of our campuses. A fun fact this evening, we actually have more international students at the University of Nottingham than we have postgraduate students completely. So it's a very big group of students that we have on our campus that are not from the UK. So this is a very important role within our part-time officer team because it represents such a wide range and a wide depth of our student body. And now we are going to head to the result. Liam, go ahead.
Okay, so with 98 votes, went to the second round. Our winner is Gia Kinney. Come on down.
Hi everyone, I'm Gia. Thank you so much for voting for me as your International Student Officer. I'm so excited for this upcoming year, and I'm looking forward to make University of Nottingham a more international student place.
And we're going to head back down to Ashley for the stats once again.
Thank you very much, Liam. That was your International Students Officer, Gia Kinney. Let's have a look at those stats. You can still hear the background. There we are, perfect. So, in the first round, Gia got 34 votes, Amara got 29 votes, Nicholas got 19 votes, reopened nominations got 9, the threshold was 45.5. No one reached the threshold in the first round, so Nicholas and reopened nominations were eliminated, and their second choice votes were given to the candidates that were still in the role. Gia went from 34 to 41 votes, so that's an and then Amara went from 29 to 39 votes. 11 votes were exhausted, which means that those people did not put a second choice, and the threshold was 40. Gia won by 1 surplus vote, so 1 by 1, and Gia is your next International Students Officer. Give a big cheer for Gia! Now, this is the last part-time officer role that we'll be announcing this evening, and it'll be the last time you'll see the lovely Liam Han on your screen, as I will be replacing him upstairs. It does feel a little bit like Eurovision when he keeps going on the screen, which is quite fun. Our next and final part-time officer role we are announcing this evening is the Disabled Students Officer. Come on, you can do better than that. It's the last part-time officer. I want the biggest cheer that we can get. It is your Disabled Students Officer. Amazing. We had 1 candidate for the role, and I'm going to pass now directly to Liam to find out the result.
Okay, so with 166 votes, this went to the first round. Our winners for next year's Disabled Students Officer are Emily Lavender and George Robinson.
Hello, thank you so much. We had great fun putting together a campaign, and we look forward to spending the next year as your disabled student officers. Thank you.
Thank you.
And once again, we will head back down to Ashley for the stats. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's go through those Disabled Students Officer statistics. As we wait for them to ping up, there we are. So, this is a joint ticket, so this is where two people run for one role and are counted together. So Emily Lavender and George Robinson got 150 votes in the first round. Reopen nomination got 11 votes. There was none exhausted. The threshold was 80.5, and Emily and George won by 69.5 votes. So please give it up for Emily Lavender and George Robinson! And that is all your part-time officer announcements this evening. Can we have a massive cheer to all of our part-time officer candidates? They've worked incredibly hard to this whole week, these whole few weeks in campaigning. So please give it up for all of our part-time officer candidates this evening. Okay. Now, we're going to I'm now going to go upstairs to get ready for the next set of roles. But while we do that, I would like to present your musical guest this evening. Please give a massive hand to Musicality! We're good. Yeah. For some reason, they had issues with your mic upstairs.
What, you got 1 and 2?
Yeah, I got 1 and 2. Bullet.
The dust of life, conceived in hell and born in strife. They are the living reminder of all the good we failed to do. We can't forget, must not forget, that they are all our children too.
Like all survivors, I once thought, when I'm home I won't give a damn. But now I know I'm caught, I'll never leave Vietnam.
War isn't over when it ends. Some pictures never leave your mind. They are the faces of the children, the ones we've left behind. They're called Buidoy, the dust of life, conceived in hell and born in strife. They are the living reminder of all the good we failed to do. We can't forget, must not forget, that they are all our children too.
These kids hit walls on every side. They don't belong in any place. Their secrets they can't hide is printed on their face.
I never thought one day I plead for those from a land that's torn, but then I saw the children whose crime was being born.
They're called Buidoy,
The dust of life, conceived in hell and born in strife. We all had fathers and a family, a loving home they never knew, because we know deep in our hearts that they are all our children too. These are souls in need, they need us to give. Someone has to pay for their chance to live. God we join the dust of life, conceived in hell, and bodies dry. They are the living reminder of all the good we failed to do. That's why we know, deep in our hearts, that's why we know that they are all our children.
My name's Martha. I'm the Liberation and Equity Coordinator in Student Voice, and I'm going to be one of the co-hosts for this next portion for the full-time officers.
Hi, my name's Georgia. I'm Student Group Coordinator for Committees here at the SU, and I'm also co-hosting tonight for all of the full-time officer results.
Now, Georgia, might I say, for a co-host, you're looking absolutely fantastic tonight.
And might I also say, I completely agree.
And isn't that a democracy, folks? We love to see it. So, today, this first portion, we're going to be going through the education and postgraduate candidates.
Yeah, and we're going to start with the education candidates. So those running for the education role, which is a role that looks to ensure that every student has their education put first within the university and the Students' Union and has a place on every board and every decision made by the university, are Jake Woolley, he, him, Scarlett Yang, she, her, and Kaz Carson, she, they. Now, shall we head on over up to Ashley for the results?
Thank you very much, Martha and Georgia. And now for the education officer results. There was 1,928 total votes, and the election went to the second round. I'm proud to announce your winner of education officer this evening is Scarlett Zhang. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now back down to Martha and Georgia for those good breakdowns.
There will be an interview with Scarlett after we announce the postgraduate role, but now it's time to go through the breakdown of the results. Let's wait for them to appear on the screen. Here they are. As we said, these roles went into 2 different rounds. We started with Jake Ferris-Woolley on 500, Scarlett on 823, and Kaz on 413, with 59 for Ron, leaving both Jake and Scarlett over the threshold, with the second round giving Scarlett 1,000 and Jake 682, leaving Scarlett to being our winner, the education officer for 24-25. Everyone, round of applause!
Congratulations! So, now we're moving on to the postgraduate candidates. So, those who nominated themselves were Abhishek Madden, Clement Ashante, Sony Sajan Isaac, Tina Etarami, and Juan Zheng. Oh, and Yanyan Bai. Apologies about that. So let's yet again move up to Ashley to announce the winner.
Thank you again, Martha and Georgia. Now for the postgraduate officer results. There was 2,161 voters. This election went to the 4th round. And I'm proud to announce your postgraduate officer for 2024-2025 was Clement Asante. Congratulations, Clement.
Thank you. First and foremost, I will thank God for the opportunity. Thank God for the win. Secondly, I would say a big thank you to my polls team, my campaign team. They've been so helpful. Also, my flatmates, they've been so great. They've been of immense contribution. And everyone else who helped to this success story. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clement. And now back down to Martha and Georgia for those breakdowns.
As with the first, we'll do the second. So with more candidates, that comes more rounds. So immediately, Sony had 302, Abhishek 154, Tina with 369, Yan with 202, Juan with 230, and Clement with 242. So that was immediate pull ahead. And as we went through the rounds, people were eliminated, and that left Clement with 855 votes. That's 855 votes. So let's have a big round of applause for both our new education and postgraduate officers.
They will now be on their way down to come and see us to be interviewed by some of our lovely officers. But while we're waiting for them to appear, well, Martha, what is your favourite thing about the projects that both the education and the postgraduate officer can get involved with?
I particularly like it because it's so, often we forget sometimes that university is about the education. It's not about the having fun. I mean, it kind of is. But having someone that can directly liaise and directly represent students, and especially for postgrads, as they can be forgotten, is so important for them, for there to be someone in their corner. And that's why these are really crucial roles, are super important, and it'll be really great to see what our 2 new officers have in store for us in the next year.
Often it can be really hard in the Students' Union to forget that we're not just here to have fun and get part of societies and sports clubs, but we're here to get a degree. And that's what these 2 roles will be there for. They will be making sure that everyone is going to be having the best time while they're at university, getting the best quality education that they can have.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
So they should be down with us in a moment to have some lovely interviews from our 2 lovely officers.
They're just waiting off in the sides. I think we are still waiting on Clement, but isn't that exciting? So, I mean, I'm going to throw the question right back at you. Try and figure out something I haven't already said.
I think something really important about the postgraduate officer is that most postgraduate students actually live on Jubilee campus, so they're not just representing all of those postgraduates, but they're representing lots of different campuses as well. Often we forget about postgrads, we think master students, PhD students are, you know, just getting on with their own thing, but really they are here to learn, just the same as undergrads.
Yeah.
But we are now ready to hand over to our first interviews for our new full-time officer team with Sean Nolan and Dan Haag. Woo!
Right, let's say it one more time for your new education and postgrad officers.
Woo!
So, some quick questions. Firstly, we all know what it's like being in campaign week, so how glad are you that it's over?
I'm excited it's over. I need to calm down first. Right, yeah.
About the feeling the campaign. Our health is it's quite exhausted, and like we don't really have this kind of culture in my country, so it's really fresh to me. So yeah.
That is wonderful to hear. Right, next question we wanted to ask was, what are you most proud of from this week of campaigning? From like your campaign team, any of the things you've been doing, what are you most proud of?
Right, so the thing I'm most proud of was the opportunity to kind of bond with my colleagues, because I couldn't have done it alone, and they were so of immense help, actually, because we had coursework and stuff like that, and they still managed to come in their numbers to support me, and I'm so proud of that. Yeah.
I think the most proud thing of me is I just find so many friends are passionate about helping me to, you know, fix out everything and offer the help I need. So as a non-native here, so I know it's not that easy to get votes around the campus. So really thank you for all of those who gave me the votes, and I really appreciate to meet you in the process of campaign and voting. Thank you.
Brilliant, yeah. So all the people here, next year we'll be looking to you to lead the Students' Union. So what can we expect from you two that's going to excite us about you in an officer role?
You made your polls count. Now let's come together and fix the XU polls.
Well, that's really a tricky question. I think as a student from School of Education, I really expect our students as the expert and owner for our academic experiences. So, yeah, I will, like as my slogan goes, from the for the students, with students, and from students. That's all. Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Of course, it's been a very busy week for you guys, and you guys very much deserve to celebrate. So, how are you planning to celebrate this weekend?
Right, so I'm planning a jollof party with my colleagues, so yes, we're gonna figure this out.
Well, actually, I kind of have celebrated from this noon. That is sleep. Yeah, I just lay down on my bed and sleep all the afternoon. That's really cool. And for this weekend, I think like just come down a little bit to kind of reflect the whole process. And maybe I need to plan, you know, for the future. Like how can I achieve in this position? And I will better service you all. Thank you.
Absolutely, a well-deserved rest and celebration this weekend. So well done for getting elected. Let's hear it one more time for your new officers, Clement and Scarlett. And I'm now going to pass over into the very safe hands of Georgia and Martha.
Thank you so much, Sean and Dan. I understand we're all very excited, so let's bring it back here, ready for our next set of election results.
So, are we excited to announce the community and liberation roles? Can we get a woo? Woo! You could do better. You could do better. Let's go again. I'm disappointed, frankly.
And speaking of community spirit, let's go on to the results for the full-time officer role of community officer. Our nominees for the community officer are Ella Taylor, she, her, Palfrey, they, them, Jersey Fowler, they, she, Minye Runsun, she, her, and Yang Yang. Now let's go over to Ashley to reveal the results.
Thank you very much, Martha and Georgia. The community officer role had 1,952 votes. The election went to the 4th round, and your community officer for 2024-2025 is Ella Taylor. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much for everyone who voted. I really wasn't expecting it, and I can't wait to get started.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And now back to Martha and Georgia for those breakdowns.
Lovely. So our new community officer is Ella Taylor. Let's go through the vote breakdown. Because this was a large election, there was 4 rounds, where we started off with Yang Yang with 195, Herb with 205, Ella with 601, Jersey with 609, Mei Ying with 229 and 28 for Ron. With each round of eliminations, we ended up with 219 for Ella and 733 for Jersey, leading to Ella being the winner for the community officer role of 24-25. Everyone please give a round of applause.
Well done. And this really goes to show why those second and third choice votes really do count, because you can see the votes really bouncing around as people are eliminated. But yeah, very important to choose all of your choices, make all your selections when voting. Right, we're now moving on to liberation, the liberation officer position. So, we had one candidate, and that was Nuri Alua, that's they, them, and we can go straight to Ashley with the one candidate.
Thank you so much, Martha and Georgia. Now, to the Liberation Officer election. Liberation Officer election had 1,538 votes. It went to the first round, and your Liberation Officer for 2024-2025 is Nuri Olawa. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank everybody for voting for me, and I'm looking forward to doing my job as a Liberation Officer next year. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Nuri. And now, before we go to a break, let's go back down to Martha and Georgia for those breakdowns.
Well, as I said, one candidate, so it's a bit more of a simple one. Nuri won with 1,259 votes, 160 to Ron. That doesn't matter, Ron loses yet again. So congratulations to Nuri, our next Liberation Officer.
Woo! Now, while we wait for our new winners to come down, well, let's ask some questions. Why do we use single transferable vote in the SG, Martha?
So, single transferable vote, whilst it may seem a little complicated on the surface, is actually quite simple when you look at it. And it's also one of the most democratic voting choices you can do. As I said, with those second and third choices, it actually means that you don't just have to vote once, you actually get the chance for your vote to count as people are eliminated. If your first choice doesn't win, the second choice the one who secondly most aligns with your views has a chance and they get your vote as well. We actually almost moved over to it in the UK.
Yeah. Single transferable vote is great as well for large communities like universities where there's so many different groups of people. It means that everyone has a fair say of who they think is best representative of them, which obviously, as you can agree, very important in a students' union as we try to represent students, by students, for students.
Yes, we love democracy.
I love democracy so much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Role-wise, I mean, we've had community and liberation, which on the surface might seem like quite different roles, but they do have quite a lot of overlap.
They do. I mean, the community officer is looking at all of the community in both the university, in Nottingham, even the UK community, while the liberation officer is looking at those liberated groups within the university and making sure that they're both represented and taken care of and thought of in every decision the student union makes. So there's a lot, obviously, crossover because liberation groups look at specific communities while the community officer looks at a much larger community. A great example of this is the community cabinets, which were created by a community officer and the voice team, which looks at the female population or those with assigned female at birth population, whereas liberation may look at more sort of political ideas and campaigning ideas for those groups and communities.
Yes, so for those who don't know, liberation, we use this term. We use the NUS liberation groups. So NUS is National Union of Students. So the liberation groups are trans, LGBTQ+, black, and that is the NUS's definition. So we have a BME officer, but NUS use black, disabled students, and there's always one I forget. I always remember. Oh, and women. Who could forget women?
And pregnant women. That's considered under...
I love women.
We love women. So yeah, as you can see, these roles have a lot of scope to them and a lot of crossover. The Liberation Officer is going to work a lot with our PTOs, who we've already announced tonight. So
you know so much about that.
Connected. It's all connected. Yes. Now I do believe that Sean and Dan are just collecting our new full-time officers, and then they're going to interview them.
We are currently waiting on one officer who may have gone missing on the way down to Mooch from NSTV.
It is a long trek. I always get lost in the Portland building.
There's so many winding corridors, doors that lead to nowhere.
Often I go to a meeting and just blow into Mooch and lose about half a day here.
There's random people in bright pink t-shirts willing to jump out at any moment and basically harass you into voting.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
We are currently receiving that there is no news as of yet of where Nuri is.
Hey Nuri, are you about? Could you maybe come to the stage? We'd like to interview you. Unless you don't want to be interviewed, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyone seen Nuri, our new Liberation Officer for 24-25?
With anyone with eyes in the skies, could you let us know?
Yes.
Or we could cut to interview.
All
We're
right,
going to cut to interview.
We're going to cut to it anyway. Please welcome back Dan and Sean to interview our brand new community officer. Please be excited.
Great. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, congratulations against Ella for getting community officer. It's brilliant. So, just going for a few questions. So, we'll begin with the first one. Firstly, busy, busy week. How glad are you for the fact that it's all over?
I'm so happy that it's over. I think I maybe gave up a bit too early. So I've been mentally checked out for a little bit, so I'm very, very ready for it to be over. It was very stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got some of your friends here. They're clearly really, really proud of you this week. But tell us what you're most proud of from what you've been through this week.
I'm really proud of myself for even applying, because I feel like I don't usually put myself out there for these kind of things, and I'm glad I did, because I just did it to take part, and then I'm glad I actually got it, so it's not really something I usually do. Yeah, I'm just proud of myself.
Wonderful. Well, here you are. Now, of course, you're in the role, and there's a lot of interesting things that we saw in your manifesto, a lot of cool things you want to do. So, the real question is, what are we going to sort of see from you when you're an officer next year?
So when I was writing my manifesto, I asked
a lot of students what they wanted to see, and the most common thing was a Lenten hopper bus, which they're trialing at the moment, but to make that permanent and frequent, and also for nightlife to be more safe and more enjoyable are the two main points in the manifesto.
Brilliant. Right. Let's give it up for Nuri. Nuri, what a week it's been. A busy one, chaos, but we made it to the end. Tell everybody what you're most proud of from this week and what we can expect from you over the next year.
Oh my God, this week has been so tiring. I'm really grateful, first off, to my campaign team, my undercover campaign team, and to all the societies that endorsed me. Shout out QPOC, by the way. And next year, I'm really looking forward to working with marginalized people at the university, because at the end of the day, like I said in my campaign or in my manifesto, that I don't believe I can be Liberation Officer alone. I only believe that I can do it with other people who help me and the societies that have helped me and pushed me forward. Thank you so, so much, and I can't wait to work with you guys next year. So, yay, you know.
Well, Nuri, we've seen some absolutely spectacular stuff come from your campaign, but we really want to know, what are you most proud of from this past week?
I'm proud of the people that I've spoken to this past week. So many stories I've heard from so many people. Like, I didn't run for Liberation Officer randomly. I ran because I was surrounded by people who needed liberating. And shout out to my friends and to my housemates, by the way, that helped me, push forward to get in this position. And that's what I've been so excited about this whole week, really.
It has been an absolute mega week. So we asked two previous candidates what they're going to do to celebrate. We've so far there's a party going on, someone's sleeping all weekend. What are you two getting up to celebrate this weekend?
So I'm going home and getting drunk, because I'm not a clubbing girly. I am a sit at home and get drunk in the house girly, Shout out to the girlies that get drunk in the house. So that's my plan for the weekend, just sitting at home and trying to rest up from this past week.
And Ella, how about yourself?
I've been telling my housemates about the pasta I'm going to make all day, so I literally can't wait to go home and have dinner. And we're probably just going to play some Fortnite, to be honest.
It is hard to argue with that as a celebration evening. So, well done. Congratulations on the win. Everybody, let's give one more massive cheer for your new officers, Ella and Nuri.
Well done, well done, well done.
And we're back over to Martha and Georgia.
Ooh.
Before we go on to the next rounds, there will be a little break. So please go to the bar, have a drink, go to the toilet, have fun.
We'll go as soon as we came. Break time. I'm the Liberation and Equity Coordinator at Student Voice. And a fun fact about me is I actually won The Apprentice in 2012.
Wonderful. And my name's Georgia Bell. I'm Student Group Coordinator for committees at the Student Groups team. And I could be Alan Sugar. But moving on to great activities, we are going to announce the results for the Activities Officer for 24-25. Can we get a round of applause? Clap, 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 clap. I'd like a little bit more excitement, please. Lovely, wonderful. Well, our two candidates are Harry Holt, he, they, and Ian Massor, he, him. Wonderful. Let's move over to Ashley with the results.
Thank you very much, Georgia and Martha. Now to the Activities Officer election. There was 2,126 votes. It went to the first round. So your Activities Officer for 2024-2025 is Ian Massor. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Wow. I guess all I can really say is thank you to my campaigns team. Without them, none of this would have been possible. The biggest mentions have to go firstly to my girlfriend Holly for wearing that dinosaur costume so much. And then also to everyone else, but also Petru for editing that amazing video, and of course to Mr. Tom Hayward for his amazing work in getting me some votes in the food court earlier today. But also to the rest of my team and to everyone who has voted to me, thank you very, very much. You have achieved more with Massor.
Thank you very much, Ian. Now let's go down to those breakdowns.
Wonderful. So a breakdown of the results is that Ian received 1,239 votes, while Harry won 645, with 134 being for Ron, leading that Ian was over the threshold and is now the new Activities Officer for 24-25. Round of applause, everyone, for Ian.
Well done. Excellent, and now we're moving on to sport. So we're going from 2 to, what is that, 6 candidates. So I've got a bit more of a job. So the sports candidates are Emily Smith, she, her, Ethan Page Mason, he, him, James Miller, Jerry Zhang, he, him, Sky Wiggins, and Yitao Pang, he, him. And let's move over to Ashley with the winner.
Thank you very much, Martha and Georgia. Now for the Sports Officer election. There was 2,397 votes. This election went to the third round. And your Sports Officer for the 2024-2025 is James Miller. Congratulations, James.
Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to hopefully everyone who's voted for me, the great clubs and societies that have endorsed me. It's been really helpful. And most of all, my campaign team. Been amazing throughout. I'd just like to say thank you and very well done to everyone else as well. Everyone ran great campaigns. But I'm really happy to be a sports officer 2024-25.
Thank you very much, James. Now down to Mooch for those breakdowns.
Excellent. So we had quite a lot of candidates, but only 3 rounds. And as the results show, it really does mean that James did pull away in the early game. So we had Sky with 520, James with 814, Emily with 518, Yitao with 75, Ethan with 233, Jerry with 113, and Ron with 24. Ron's always last. We had a couple candidates eliminated in that round for not reaching the threshold. And then finally we had James with 966 and Emily with 877. So with 966, James is our winner for the sports candidate. So let's have a little round of congratulations.
Now, the sports and activities roles are really similar roles. They often kind of intersect as sports and societies have a lot in common. Now, Martha, if you could join any society, what would you join?
That's a great question because I'm going to have to default, and what about you?
I think the society I would probably join the most is the Taylor Swift Society, because I enjoy Taylor Swift. And if it was sport, I don't know, I used to fence when I was younger, so I'd probably join the fencing club.
Yeah, I mean, we have our resident society expert here with us, Georgia Bell.
We have over 450 societies and sports clubs here at UNSU, so these two officers are going to have a lot of people to hold themselves accountable to. But it's a role where they really get involved with the communities that make the SU. So it's a really fulfilling role. I work with them really closely, but they get involved with every facet, whether it's doing councils of all the presidents, whether it's welcome fair. There is so much that these two roles will get done. They will be very busy for the next year.
I mean, I'm going to have to ask the question that is asked at every single open day by every single prospective parent and student. What is the nichest society at Nottingham?
I get asked this question all the time. I think hide and sock is probably pretty niche. I mean, how often are we playing hide and seek as grown-ups? But even then, there is some very specific, like, niche cultural groups for really small communities at the university to find their people. I'm trying to think of even more niche ones.
I often say bell ringing.
Bell ring, of course, how can I forget bell ringing? Bell ringing, ring bells.
Because it's well known as an activity, but having a society about it, maybe a bit more niche.
Yeah, exactly. And as a bell myself, I think bell ringing is probably one of our more unique ones. They always bring a bell to welcome fair, which is always very fun.
It can't ring.
Although it can't ring. It's too loud. You wouldn't want to be next to it. You wouldn't want to be the society next door, just ding, ding. But that means they actually go to the Trent Tower and play with the bell in the Trent Tower, which is fun.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Right, so we are currently waiting for everyone to gather. Oh, we're ready?
We're not
ready.
waiting.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Please bring on Jess and Elle for the interviews for our new sports and activities officers. Woo!
Well done.
Right, how are you feeling?
Buzzing, mate. Buzzing.
Yeah. Right, oh, amazing. So, James, my first question's for you. What drove you to run to be an officer and sports officer specifically?
I've enjoyed Nottingham for 4 years, and I thought I'd enjoy it for another year as well. And to be honest, I thought I'd be good for the role. I've had the experience, and I sort of just backed myself to win as well. So I went for it.
Right. Amazing. Love that attitude.
And what are you most excited about to do in your new role?
I'm excited to be working with so many wonderful committees because I've had the joy of working with them in cross collaborations, but now in this role, just seeing all the amazing things societies can do and helping them do better with it.
Amazing to hear. So, James, another question coming to you. What got you involved in sport?
I think my dad. About 6 years old, started playing football. Haven't stopped since. So that's about it. All I've done. So
Football's your main sport that's got you here today.
That's it. Yeah.
Amazing.
What society are you most excited to learn more about that you haven't been involved with yet?
I'm not sure. I'm going to go on a whim here and say public speaking because I've been their president for 2 years. I've been in the society for 4 years now, and I'm curious to see how it survives without me in a different position. But beyond that, I haven't done a lot of work with SRSs much in my time, and getting to know them more will also be wonderful.
Amazing. And James, what are you most excited about doing next year?
Just all of it, really. I haven't really thought about it too much when focusing on the election. I thought I'll focus on the job when I get there, so we'll see how it goes.
Exciting. Very exciting stuff.
And how will you be celebrating tonight and this weekend?
I'll be going to bed. I've got a national public speaking competition tomorrow at 9 a.m, so it's a bit of a rush this weekend, but I'll be sleeping mostly. Maybe a couple drinks before then, though.
Thank you so much. I think that's all of
Yeah, and James, final question for you. What sporting event next year are you most excited about in the university calendar?
I think it has to be the varsity series. I think this year, 5-5, that's all right, but they're trending, aren't they? So we'll beat them next year.
Amazing. Well, can't wait to see what both of you do. Let's hear it one more time for James and Ian, everyone. Right. Can you take that mic with you? Thanks. And now, so we've got a little bit of a break from results at the moment, but we are going to introduce and announce some of the competition winners from this year's prize draw. So everyone who voted, so all 6,197 of you, got entered into a prize draw to win a £100 grocery voucher. And we've got some names that we're going to read out, and those are our winners. Do you want to kick us off, Al?
I shall. Our first winner is Charlotte Pendleton.
Our second winner is Ria Mystery.
And we have Bala Krishnan Sakar,
Hannah Williams,
Zainab Anwar,
Ketcha Wallam,
Lucy Roberts,
Rosalind Bull,
and Holly Martin.
And Jibya Kanyumangu... Oh, I'm sorry, I've messed that up. Jibya Kanyumangula through Karan Johnson. Well done to all our prize winners, and spend it well. We're now going to pass back to Martha and Georgia to announce our final candidate winners.
Welcome back again, and this is the final block. The final two candidates are about to be announced. And just as a little special something, I wanted to give a shout out to the listeners at home. Could you stop spamming my name in the chat, please?
And big up to NSTV for live streaming tonight's results on YouTube, meaning that people that aren't here can enjoy the fun. Wonderful. But our first sort of election results to go through is the welfare and well-being candidate. Round of applause. Woo! The candidates for this election are Aditi Rata, she, her, Ella Trudan, she, her, Izzy English, she, her, Yi Yang Wang, and Priority Tansin, she, her. Let's go over to Ashley with the results of this election.
Thank you very much, Martha and Georgia. We are still waiting for our welfare and wellbeing candidates to have their result announced. But it's been a great night. Thank you very much, Martha and Georgia, for all your great work hosting. As saying, the chat absolutely loves you, which is really great to see. We are still got a couple more minutes until we wait. So 2 minutes. Okay. We will throw back down to Martha and Georgia, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
We're just too good at this, Martha. We're ahead of the curve.
We're just too quick.
We're
I'm
too
now
quick.
interested. They must be able to hear us up here.
Yeah.
Be interesting if we could have a conversation.
Well, I mean, while we're waiting, we can talk a little bit about the welfare and well-being role. I mean, this role is all about taking care of the students, and not only taking care of the students themselves, but making sure the university is taking care of students. Things like mental health, physical health, it's all really important. Don't you agree, Martha?
It is the most important to make sure that you're happy and healthy in all manner of things while at university, especially as it can be such an upheaving time. So I'm really glad that we've got this officer role, and they do such great things and introduce such great initiatives into the SU and students just generally to make some things you may not even think about with student experience just so much better. So yes, it's a really important role.
Yeah, this role will be working really closely with the university and their welfare and well-being teams, with their ResX teams, and everything like that. So there's a lot of opportunities for this role to really be able to make a massive impact on students here at the university. After welfare and well-being, we will also be announcing the Union Development Officer role. The Union Development Officer is, well, the role that Jess Nuttall holds, and they look over everything to do with the student union, and they do all the boring paperwork. Jess is nodding. But the Union Development Officer sits on trustee boards within the university, sits on our trustee board, and makes sure that really everything to do with the union, how it's funded, how it's taken care of, how it grows, is always sort of the priority for the SU and the university. All of these roles as well, for full-time officer roles, are on the trustee board. But over to Ashley.
Over to
Hey,
Ashley.
we are still not ready yet, but we're going to test the limits of this technology of streaming upstairs and downstairs with a cable outside this window to have a chat with you, our hosts. So Martha, Georgia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ashley. Yeah, we're doing great.
Amazing. Usually when we do some improv, we usually do some yes and. But anyway.
I'm just shocked that we can communicate from such a distance. This has never been done before.
Okay, perfect. So we are now ready to announce the Welfare and Wellbeing Officer election. There was 2,405 votes, and it went to the third round. Your 2024-2025 Welfare and Wellbeing Officer is Ella Shohan. Congratulations, Ella. We're going to throw straight down to Martha and Georgia to go through those most important breakdowns.
Lovely. Thank you, Ashley. Just wait for the breakdown to appear on the screen and then we'll get started. Wonderful, here we go. So like Ashley said, we had 3 rounds, with Ella starting with 653, Priority starting with 270, Aditi starting with 545, Izzy starting with 334, and 1 having 30. Then going down the different thresholds, that leaves Ellie with 850 and 716. Leaving Ella to be our new Welfare and Wellbeing Officer for 24-25. Big round of applause, please, for Ella.
Well done.
Lovely.
Excellent. So, then the next and final candidate officer position to be announced is the union development role, as we mentioned. There were 2 candidates up for this position. That was Megan Sharma Bradley, she, they, and Nicola Maynor, she, her. So, I know we had to stall on the last one, but are they ready right now? Is Ashley ready in the sky for the Union Development Officer role? We've got the cue to keep ad-libbing. So, Georgia, what's your favourite thing? Oh my. What's your favourite thing about Oh My Union Development Officer?
About the role Union Development Officer or current Union Development Officer?
Either or.
I mean, the thing that I like about the role of Union Development Officer is it shows that there isn't a hierarchy to our officer team. Every officer is just as important as the last. And what I like about our current Union Development Officer is she's been doing a lot of work on the Kings Meadow campus? The Castle Meadow. She's been doing a lot of work on the Castle Meadow campus, making sure that as it opens, it's fit for purpose for students, making sure they have everything they need on that campus, and it's not just a teaching space, but is a space for all. That's something that, you know, it will be a really lasting legacy of hers.
Absolutely. And as we're waiting for the Union Development Officer, let's get a bit more excitement in this room. So, anybody listening? Yay! Are we excited for the very last officer to be announced? Excellent. And we're ready with Ashley.
Thank you very much, Martha and Georgia. Now it's time for, as they said, your final announcement of the evening. Your Union Development Officer. There was 1,675 votes, and it went to the first round. Your Union Development Officer for 2024-2025 is Nicola Maynor. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, please. Sorry. Thank you. Just thank you. 1,000 people. That's insane. I'm so happy and so grateful. I want to thank Ria Chatrath. She's not in the room with me right now, but she has completely led me through this. All my friends, my family, I'm so just grateful and kind of disillusioned right now. I don't really know what's going on, but thank you so much. I promise not to let you down. And yeah, can't wait.
Congratulations, Nicola. Let's go downstairs with Martha and Georgia for the final time to go through those most important breakdowns.
Well, congratulations. So right off the bat, Nicola got 1,010 votes and Megan got 474. They're both very lovely numbers, actually. Lots of symmetry. And Ron had 78. Again, not caring about Ron. So, thank you, and congratulations so much, Nicola. Congratulations to everyone who has been announced tonight. It's excellent to see the next officer team, and we are going to go into our next round of stalling, waiting for everyone to come downstairs.
I mean, something that definitely cannot be understated is the amount of work that has gone into the selection period, whether it's from the voice team, whether it's from other teams in the Students' Union, and tonight couldn't have been made possible without tech, PA and lighting. NSTV, who has been the magic men behind the screens tonight, URN, who allowed us to use their renovated offices, Impact, all of our student-run services, many of the societies and sports clubs that voted and promoted many of the candidates from tonight, and everyone that has attended, everyone that has supported their candidates. This couldn't have happened without you. Democracy is great.
Democracy is cool and fun, guys. It's great. But yeah, and I mean, needless to mention the incredible amount of work that has been put in by every single candidate. It's genuinely outstanding to see the amount of blood, sweat and tears put into this as a project as a whole. It's incredible to see the colour going up around Portland, the posters, the effort put into manifestos, just the genuine passion seen behind every single person running. And even if you were not a winner tonight, you absolutely should be so proud of yourself. You've learned a lot, you've done an absolutely incredible thing, and yeah, we're all so proud of you.
Yeah, it's really difficult putting yourself up for what Ashley calls the world's hardest job interview. You have to not only promote yourself to, your fellows, but you also have to present yourself to people you may never have met. So please never be understated the amount of work that each candidate has put in tonight and all of this week. They should be incredibly proud of themselves. I mean, me and Martha were both officers. We know exactly what it is like to have to run. It is not fun all the time. So they should really go home with a smile on their face, no matter what the result was tonight.
Absolutely. And sleep for about a week. Yeah, please.
A big nap, I recommend. Make a lot of pasta. Someone said pasta earlier. Pasta tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a really big pint from Mooch.
Actually, a great way to stall is, how do you if you were to spice up a pesto pasta, how would you do it? What is your way to spice up a pesto pasta?
You get a little bit of rocket. Mix a bit of rocket in there. A little bit of rocket on top. Adds a bit of spiciness. Or you maybe cut up some nuts, sprinkle them on top. Pesto's just pine nuts.
Yeah.
How have you got me talking about pesto?
What?
How have you got me talking about pesto?
You mentioned it first.
No, that's not my narrative.
I had breadcrumbs.
Ooh.
That's the way I spice up.
You know what? You've actually fed me breadcrumbs, pesto pasta in the past, and it was great. But yeah, we are just waiting on our 2 new officers to come down for their interviews, then our closing remarks from Ashley, and then we can all relax and get excited for next year's officer team.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
We're getting whoops from the peanut gallery. It's always a good sign.
Do love whoops from the peanut gallery, and by the peanut gallery we mean the officers.
The not peanut gallery, because the peanut gallery is currently comprised of Elle and Jess, and Jess has a life-threatening nut allergy, so.
Also, if you're thinking tonight, wow, I'd love to get involved in an event like this, you can always help out next year, become a student staff, join tech or NSTV.
Reach out, our emails, information on the website.
Call me.
Just go for it, honestly.
Don't call me.
Yeah, not personally.
Are we ready to go? We're ready for our final interviews with our brand new Welfare and Wellbeing Officer and Union Development Officer. Woo!
Hello, we're back. We're almost getting ready for the final huge round of applause to Martha and Georgia for all their hosting tonight. And we're ready to welcome the candidates on some stage. Woo!
Hi guys.
Hello, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Ella, as welfare officer, what do you plan to do first in your role?
I plan to address substance abuse and alcohol abuse in university first.
Amazing.
Amazing. Thanks so much. And Nicola, congratulations. Thank you. I'm so interested to find out. So, Nicola's coming into my role next year. What inspired you to run for the officer role and why UDO specifically?
So I decided to run because in the social circles that I'm in and generally I noticed that there was a need for people to understand the student union more. And I really believe that I could bridge that gap because I have experience as an officer but also enough experience to know that some people needed help getting it to where they needed. So yeah, that was my motivation for it, yeah.
Amazing. Well, I'm so excited to see what you do with all your, first of all, international officer experience going into next year.
Ella, how did you find campaigning?
I found it quite stressful, but I just treated it as like a 9 to 5 and then I got the job done, so that's good. Also, thanks for the help to my friends that campaigned with me. I really appreciate it.
Amazing. And Nicola, what about you? How did you find campaign week?
Oh my goodness. It was probably the toughest 3 weeks of my life. Thus far at university, but definitely 100% worth it. I want to thank Ria Chatrap, who was my campaign manager. She was with me every step of the way. And thank you to everyone who just watched my TikToks, liked my stupid little things. It really means a lot. So thank you.
Oh, amazing. It's been so great to see all the candidates' campaigns, all the creativity and excitement behind it as well. And it's great to see them pay off.
If you had to choose one well-being issue, and this is a tricky question to tackle, which would it be? If you had to choose one well-being issue, what would it be to tackle?
I would say substance and alcohol abuse.
Thank you.
Amazing, thank you. And Nicola, similar question for you. So, I know there are so many elements to the role of Union Development Officer. Is there any specific area that you're really excited to focus on first?
Definitely just creating a system that makes the union accessible to people. What that looks like depends a lot on students themselves. I can't wait to just carry out more like monthly meetings with students and just increasing networks between people and the student union. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting to know what is actually happening in our university body and how I can change that. So.
Amazing. Well, I'm so excited to see what you both do next year. Let's have one final huge round of applause for our new Union Development Officer and Welfare and Wellbeing Officer. Right, congratulations. Thank you so, so much. Right, we're now going to close and hand over back to Ashley Sora-Smith for some closing remarks. Thank you so much for having us this evening.
I'm all good, thank you. Amazing. Can someone hear me? There we are, I did plug the right mic pack in. Thank you very much, Elle and Jess. It's been such a great evening. Now, it's time to close our elections. Every officer role has been announced, every election has been done, and it's now to just say a couple of big thank yous. Elections is a very difficult process. As I say many of the year, it is the hardest job interview in the country. So please, can you give it up? Firstly, the biggest cheer you can give for every single candidate this evening for the hard work they've done over the past few weeks. Incredible work. Our next big thank you goes to our SRSs who have helped us out over the past few weeks, to Impact for their elections issue. An incredible piece of work that has made sure so many students are able to find out about our elections. To NSTV for putting such amazing stuff together, videos on our website, and making sure that this very complicated technical day has happened. And then a final thank you for our SRSs is, of course, for Tech, for making sure this all works. Thank you very much, Tech. Now, we have a couple of geese left, And I want to say a special thank you to a few groups of people. If you do hear your name, please do come up on stage, because we do have some presents for you. But before I do that, I do want to thank every single member of the Students' Union staff team that's put on a pink shirt, gone around, tapped with those NFC cards, and is the reason why we got double voter turnout this year. So can we have a massive thank you for all of our SU staff in pink t-shirts? Now for some specific thank yous. The first one goes to the people that made us pink. The people that have ensured that we have the most unique looking elections that we've ever had. So, I would like to give a couple of geese and a couple of flowers to the amazing marketing and communications team of the SU! Come on down. Come down, come down. Come say thank you. Thank you very much, Reese. Thank you very much. Hey, come in, Isabel, come down, come down, come down. If Dara, Augustine, Alex, all those great people have done such an amazing job this year. They've gone home. But thank you so much. The next person is someone who I've nicknamed this year, this week, the honorary member of the Student Voice team. They have goated. They have been a well-being mentor. They have hosted tonight, and they've run their own elections at the same time. So a massive thank you to Georgia Bell! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, moving on to some very special thank yous. The first one, unfortunately, could not be here tonight, so I hope you can give a cheer loud enough that they're able to hear wherever they are this evening. We had over 40% of course reps vote this year. An incredible amount, and that wouldn't have been nowhere near done without our academic reps coordinator, Tony Cat. Give it a big loud, Tony! If you're watching the live stream, Tony, thank you so much. I'll have your geese on Monday, all right? Anyway, next member of the team is the new member of the Student Voice team, who's ensured that our candidates are being prepped as much as possible over our candidate preparation week. Not just putting on great sessions themselves, but also rallying lots of other team members from across the SU to put on great sessions to make sure our candidates are prepared, feel ready, and able to bring their best selves to the election process. So a big thank you to Becca Taylor! So much fun. Go on. I don't know why I keep going behind the podium, but it's fine. The next person this evening is the second person, Tony being the first, who has done 3 elections with me and with the Voice team, and has done such incredible work ensuring that our candidate welfare is one of the best in the country. The candidate welfare program is so robust that it's been honoured across the sector. So, a massive thank you to Hannah Vile! Thanks so much. Now, for the next partner in crime on this desk, the person who has not just made me laugh with the great memes, but has made our elections probably the wackiest and weirdest this SU has ever seen. They've brought themselves into it and definitely have made their mark, even though they've only been part of the Voice team for the past few months. So for everything, thank you so much, Martha Roberts! Yeah, of course. Woo. Go on, proud of you. Now, our final thank you this evening. I wouldn't nickname him my right-hand man. His last name is Hand, but he is left-handed. They have been an incredible support this week and for the past 7 weeks. It's been so great having someone who knows what they're doing, is able to put me in shape sometimes, and has ensured that even though I may be the massive worry guts of this elections, they've been that stable rock that's made sure it's gone through no matter what. Thank you very much, Liam Han! Thank you very much, Liam. Oh. Oh, God.
Right. This wouldn't be right without congratulating the person who has the most impact on the elections, and that's our very own Ashley Storer-Smith. I know they hate receiving praise, but you're going to sit through it and do it anyway. So, let's bring out the goose. We genuinely could not have done any of it without you. So can I have the rest of my voice compatriots out? Thank you.
Oh, God, no.
No, we didn't plan that hard far ahead. We're just here to say thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And big round of applause.
And let's have the biggest round of applause for Ashley and the elections in general.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll try not to cry, but thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of you. You've been so amazing. I really appreciate all the great work you've done. And we wouldn't have been where we are without you, so thank you as well. Thank you very much. Now, it's time to end. I'm a little bit shaken with that. I did not expect that. 10 years ago, in 2014, a deputy returning officer stood on a stage like this in London, a much worse student bar than Mooch. Mooch is much lovelier than that one, and said the following words: "Your next Vice President of Activities and Employability is Ashley Storer-Smith." I can't believe that was 10 years ago, and I can't believe that it's been 10 years in this sector now. Elections is very close to my heart. I think it's one of the most important things we do as a students' union, and I'm so happy that I'm able to be that person to announce the elections and your next officers to you. As tradition, for 3 years in a row now, I end every election night with a very obscure Disney quote. And this one comes from this idea of understanding, why do we do all this? Why do candidates put themselves through this process? Why do we put ourselves through this process? But I think we have an answer. So, to quote the famous philosopher, Kermit the Frog, "I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. One time we find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me."